Here we go. Let's talk about proportions for a moment here. Here I have a picture of two dogs. When I shrink the picture down, since the dogs are still relatively the same size in comparison to one another, they can be considered proportionate. However, if I take the same picture and shrink it down again, if one dog shrinks at a different rate than the other dog, then they are not proportionate. A simple math problem can be done to keep our dogs proportionate to each other. Let's start with the original sizes of these dogs. Let's say our big dog is 18 inches tall, and our little dog is 9 inches tall. This is the standard we are going to go off of. Now, if we shrink our big dog down to 15 inches tall, how tall should our little dog be if we want it to be proportional? We can find this out by taking the 15, timesing it by the 9, and then dividing it by the 18. Alright, so 15 times 9 is 135. Now we take the 135 and divide it by 18. This gives us an answer of 7.5 inches. So if we shrink the big dog down to make it 15 inches tall, the little dog should be shrunk to 7.5 inches, if it is to stay proportional. If you get a number other than that, then it is not proportional. It is pretty simple. Now let's put the dogs aside and get to the meat and potatoes. NASA claims that the moon has a diameter of 2,159 miles. And during a solar eclipse, when the moon casts its shadow onto the Earth, the moon's umbral shadow is 70 miles wide. So let's hold them to that standard. If the Earth is a ball, a lunar eclipse shadow should be proportional to a solar eclipse shadow. So if the Earth's diameter is 7,917 miles, and it is proportionate with the moon, how big should the Earth's umbral shadow be when it hits the moon? We take 7,917 and times it by 70, and next we divide that by 2,159. That gives us a total of about 256 miles. But please notice how that is significantly smaller than the size of the moon. If the Earth's umbral shadow was that small, this is what we should be seeing. Now let's go take a look at how big NASA claims the Earth's umbral shadow is.
During an eclipse, it would go something like this. First, the moon passes through what's called the penumbra, where the sun's light is only partially obscured. This results in only a slight darkening of the moon. As the moon continues along its path, however, it enters what's called the umbra, where all direct light from the sun is blocked.
Please notice how they show the umbral shadow as being bigger than the moon itself. And here they go again.
About twice a year, this puts the moon in just the right position to pass through the Earth's shadow, causing a lunar eclipse. As the moon passes into the central part of the Earth's shadow, called the umbra, it darkens dramatically. Once it's entirely within the umbra, the moon appears a dim red due to sunlight scattered through the Earth's atmosphere. In fact, if you watched the eclipse from the surface of the moon, you'd see the sun set behind the entire Earth, bathing you in a warm red glow. Back home, you'll have to stay up late to watch a lunar eclipse, but if you do, you'll see the moon in rare form, and you'll catch a brief glimpse of our own planet's long shadow.
Yeah, that is way bigger than the moon itself. So NASA's Earth shadow definitely is not proportional with the moon shadow over the same distance. Okay, so let's double the size of the Earth shadow in this equation here, so it is more in line with what NASA claims. If we make the Earth's umbra that big, how big should the Earth's proportional diameter be? 512 times 2,159 divided by 70. That tells us a proportional Earth should have a diameter of 15,791 miles. So there are a number of different conclusions we can come to from here. Perhaps the Earth is way bigger than NASA tells us it is. Unless NASA is lying to us about the size of the moon. Or perhaps lunar eclipses are just not caused by the Earth's shadow. If you have seen my other videos about lunar eclipses, I can hope you will agree with me on that. Nonetheless, at the heart of every conclusion you can come to on the matter, NASA is lying to us. I hope this will wake you up to at least that much. It's time to abolish NASA, guys. There are a lot better ways the government could spend $24 billion. This message is brought to you by the Flat Earth Institute of Science, with a special thank you to the Potter's Clay, who was the one to show me this observation. You're an inspiration to us all.